I wonder.
Yeah, it's starting a little bit. Yeah, I would have the complete swing of the pendulum where I would be freezing out of nowhere, be so insanely cold, and then that's when they would hit, and I wouldn't make that connection for a long time. It took a while, thinking that I was overcompensating, putting too many clothes on, too many blankets on. Um, and that's what would make me hot. But it was just a swing. It just goes back and forth completely.
Whoa!
I
Woo!
know.
Look.
You
You
made it.
I can't see y'all. I tried on my phone.
Mercury retrograde will not win.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, I swear. It's driving me crazy.
So, but you can't see us?
No, I can see you. I mean, like, actually, I need my glasses to see you.
Okay.
But you can see us.
I can see you. I can see little, yeah. I can see.
Oh, man.
I know.
Kim, do you have a hard stop in a little bit?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I have time as well. So we're all on the call now.
Okay. Did Jennifer have to get off?
Jennifer had to get off.
5.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, actually, it worked out great. I could have made 4 o'clock. I was stuck in Atlanta traffic. There was no way I could make it.
Oh, good suggestion then.
So, yeah, it worked out well. Thank you, Kathy.
Well, I hate that. At the doctor, and how you never know how long it's going to take, and
right,
you can't rush them once you're there.
It seems like the conversation is all about our reproductive and female health. Yeah. You just came from your appointment. Kim and I, we were just talking about menopause, and I've begun going through the symptoms. I took an copper IUD out yesterday. Oh, and wow. Yes, it was it was a traumatic experience. But the second that it came out, my body just was like so excited. Like I could feel like my body was just like, yay! Like,
what the hell have you done to me? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like, just happy to, and I, I've had it in there for a few years, and I would think about it every now and then and be like, oh my God, like it's a torture device inside of me. Yeah. And it was like, but
yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'm so glad it's out.
What made you decide to do that?
To put it in or take it out? No. Actually, well, first of all, I don't need it right now because I'm not putting myself in a position where I'm going to get pregnant. So it doesn't really make sense to have it. And I've been doing a lot of womb work, just really connecting to that part of my body, and 2 sides, like releasing physical trauma and whatever it is that I'm holding there, but also doing, work focusing on, okay, this is the part of my human body that does the most magic. Like, ta-da, like we make babies, right? So I've just been doing a lot of work with it, and I realized like my body does not want this. Like, this is not okay. Like, my womb is rebelling all the time. So that's why I took it out. And
yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, like once you start thinking about it, especially when you look at those, and like you say, like a torture device, and it's like, to put yourself through that, and the fact that so many people have complications from them. You're so lucky that it didn't embed itself. And
my sister had that happen and got pregnant while having it inside. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And they said, oh, no hormones, no problem. And I actually went on Facebook last night, and I found a whole bunch of groups talking about the Paragard, which is what I had. I had the copper, and there were all kinds of just talking about the fact that it's constantly leaching copper into your body.
Ooh, yeah, good point with that too.
And so, I don't know what I've done. I guess I'll find out, but I'm just glad that I took it out. It's good. I feel my body is happy. So
Good deal.
yeah.
Yay. Yeah. What were you going to say, Kim?
I don't know. Hi.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
That's interesting. So you're purposely working on your womb?
Yeah, I have been.
Is that because of menopause, or is that just because?
I think that I'm starting to have, because my cycle is changing. I quit bleeding, and then I started again within 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I bled for 10 days, which never happens. So no, but working the womb work has really been more understanding that this is the mechanism, physical manifestation or representation of the fact that we have the ability to create. So using the womb, like communicating, using my mind and my heart to reach down into my womb and make those connections so that I can, release old lovers and, trauma and all of that. So really understanding that, we can use our womb work for magic, for, bringing that energy into the process of manifestation.
Yeah, I think that's smart. That sounds great. Definitely time, especially with all the women. Like all the women are coming forward, and I think that's a great time to grow.
Something that I wish I didn't think of it at the time and would like to share with you to do this, Mo, is to save as much of that blood as possible, because that is something that you can use in magic, and when it's gone,
Actually, to be honest, that is something that I've been doing for the past few years. I have a magic tree in the backyard, and I have a diva cup, and I have been, doing blood ritual and using my blood in my magic. And I think that, my focus over the past few years has very much been on understanding this idea that I call the jealous God who requires blood sacrifice, and the work that I've been doing with ritual, where I have my blood in my special magic cup before I pour it onto the earth. This is what you're talking about, Kim, right?
Right. Yeah. Because, we've used it before. We've talked about it, throughout the years. It would usually in some other form and aspect. We're talking about it differently now, and it feels like wiser conversations now. But it's something that, it's something that's very potent and very magical to use, and one day it's gone.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what? There's two sides to that idea, Kim.
What?
Because I don't think, like, the way I see the menstruation process and, the fact that we bleed this, life-giving stem cell magic, and it's getting, we stuff these cotton things into our bodies to absorb it, and then we throw it away in the trash, in the sewage and all this kind of stuff, as opposed to, respecting it. And I personally think that at some point, I'm going to say 10,000 years ago, maybe more, before that time, the magic of women and the fact that we were bleeding this natural blood and we weren't dying, like, it was, to our ancestors, it was magic. Like, how do they do this? But that's where the respect for the feminine came in. And I think that the correspondence of humanity understanding how to meld metals together to, like, make iron, for instance, and then, be able to begin making weaponry. And really that's really where the masculine, or I would say darkness, used masculine in a sense to create this other concept, which is really documented in the Old Testament. So yes, there is magic in that, but when we bleed, it drains us of energy, and we have to slow down, and we have to go kind of in many times into a hibernation kind of scenario just to get from one side of that to the other. And honestly, like, yes, I'm so excited that I'm able to use this very sacred substance, which our ancestors did use in this way. But I think that on the other side of that, I'm really looking forward to not bleeding anymore, because that means that that energetic circuitry, instead of being lost physically, and for most women, they're not giving it the proper respect that it deserves. But when you're not bleeding anymore, you're able to, your circuitry just keeps that energy inside. And because of, you know, the wisdom, like you just said, of years of work, that position of crone is the most powerful. It really is.
Yeah.
We're the elders now. So it's our turn to be the ones who are sharing information and wisdom. So I'm excited.
It's interesting because using it, like, you could see a result almost immediately. And I don't see and feel those immediate results anymore, you know? I don't know.
Could it
Really?
be a mindset? Could it be like, change your mindset now? Like,
Yeah,
with what,
it is. It's using everything differently, you know,
Mhm.
and don't see those immediate results like I used to. And where were we talking? What was this recently? Talking about like beginner's luck.
Yes.
What was that? You know, I remember, what was that we were talking about? I don't know if that
We
was
were
on.
talking about the difference between the beginner's luck and the kind of luck that comes into your reality when you have prepared and an opportunity presents itself, and that there's, two sides, I guess, to luck.
That momentum is so fast and furious, you know, and that's, you know, part of using blood in the beginning of the manifestation of early ritual magic in my personal life was so powerful. And I'm not saying it's not powerful now. It still is. It's just different. And I don't see that. I don't feel that. Maybe I shouldn't say see. I don't feel that same insanely fast momentum that I did before. That insanely fast momentum comes in other aspects of life now, you know, of days passing quicker, of timelines. Yes, timelines going faster. And that intentional work seems to move slower. It's funny, it's completely flipped throughout the years. But anyway, that's why going back to, you know, actually having the blood and the blood magic, keep it, because you could still use it.
Yes. Yeah, I've been, all of my work has.
It'd be interesting experiment to see if you could, you know, freeze it, use it later on after menopause, after you're told.
I see what you're saying. Okay, because I'm telling you, my whole magic garden right now is 100%. My DNA is all over there. Like, Mother Gaia knows that this is my little magic spot, because I own it, and I feel like maybe there is. I think that that would be like, wait, have somebody in the house and whoa, don't touch that in the freezer.
I wish I saved some.
Yes. Okay. I hear you, and I will. I have a suggestion, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do work with doing this, where I would have a special stone that I used, where I would put it up inside of myself, and just something to think about, that maybe that's one way, because I think even for women that don't physically have a womb anymore, that they still have that energetic imprint. But, you might be able to, I know we're getting super personal here, but just an idea. maybe, I recently got, a new, friend, and I got it's Onyx, so I
Oh,
feel like it's very, it's
protect.
dark and protective and cleansing, and I feel like, I've been able to kind of magnetize the polarity with it so that I can actually use it to like get these wash these men right out of my hair.
Does it? Hey Mo, does it have a string on it, or is it not?
Oh no, it's a full, presentation.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't need it. Doesn't. You want to see it? No,
I
I'm
do.
kidding.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Yes. Don't ask me that. You should always. The answer is yes. Do you all want to see it? I always want to
Are
see
you
it.
sure you want to see it?
Yes.
Because I actually have it here. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Woo!
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. Yeah.
So
Totally not what I was originally thinking.
yes, but I feel like talking about full moon and release, um, we hold a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been doing a lot of work with my hands, turning my Reiki on and just really trying to send love and connect physically. So yeah,
I think that's important. I really do. I think, yeah, that self healing is just so important.
totally.
Whatever you need to do and however. So something that I've noticed just recently with myself and doing this, and so this goes back for a long time prior, but I've just embraced the masculine energy for so long, and on purpose, because I felt like, I think, just being a very looking like a very feminine girl, woman, that I didn't always embrace that. I've always wanted to be more masculine, just like that, but not really. But like, but not really, And so always embrace that. But so last year I started really embracing like hearts and like what you would consider more feminine things. And that's when things started changing for me, was things were easier and came faster and different. And so now all that I read is so much about is, creating the balance, obviously, but embracing more of the feminine energy and just seeing how that plays out. But I was looking around in my office and I'm like, oh wow, that, without intentionally doing it, but I think, it doesn't have to be intentionally, that once you start being open to whatever you receive, as long as it's for the good of all, then that's when things happen. So I just thought that was kind of interesting to observe in myself.
How did you embrace the masculine or try to emulate it? Because when you said that, yes, like especially like corporate America, trying to so hard, like get them like keep your eyes up here, like
Yes,
like
right.
I'm hard, like be scared.
Yeah,
I got
that's
called the ice queen a lot.
yes. So looks, like the looks, even though, like I say, obviously I look pretty feminine, but can definitely like almost putting up a shield, or anytime I chose something like clothes wise, I stayed away from anything that was very feminine, even though I liked it, but it would be like when I go out or whatever, it's got to be like hard and
Yeah.
put that shell on. And yeah, I mean, like specifically with my tattoos, like that's a big thing, like a big black widow spider, and a bug versus like a pretty flower or something like that. Just to make sure that everybody knows what I mean.
I hear you.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I would go out like, with a wife beater and like a leather jacket and,
yes.
wear my flat boots, combat boots, like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I like to dress up too, but, usually I want to have a guy with me when I'm dressed that way, as opposed to going out, you know, because I mean, okay, since we're talking about all this, I think that I have gotten so many dick pics on Facebook and Instagram, and I don't know what is going on, but I think there's some type of crisis going on. Like, this is not how you communicate with women. You know what I mean? But I'm a person, I love to talk to anyone. Like, somebody walks up to me and I don't feel threatened, because I usually won't feel threatened anyways, but I'm going to start chit chatting. And it's frustrating when you can't just have that conversation where they instantly think, okay, I have a chance here. I'm like, dude, really? Come on. I'll talk, you know? I don't know. So dressing.
So here's my thoughts on that is the fact that, because I didn't have that exact same thing happen, but somebody that I've been talking to is like, wants to take me out. And I'm like, you know, you're like my child's age, but he's like, I just think you're gorgeous, you know, all this other stuff. But anyway, you know, so here's what I think. It's like, because we are so secure, I think where we're a little bit older and secure, that gives off a vibe of attraction. And I think, like what you're saying, like
any sort of attention, where so many people, especially younger, who are searching for that attention and love and connection outside of their home environment, you know, opening up to the world, that it's easy to misconstrue as, you know.
Yeah, something more. Right. Yeah. Because, and so, and then the whole thing of, like, they're saying, like, the studies are showing that actual sexual intercourse or sexual togetherness, whatever you want to say, is down. But the actual, because more people are watching porn, or they're connecting with other aspects. And so you're just a product of that, you know, you're getting the results, I guess, not a product, but because people don't know how to communicate anymore. So, and they think, like I said, between the magnetism and the security and the attractiveness, then it's like, hey, well, she obviously wants this, you know.
Right. and supposedly, like, we're all in our sexual peak right now. So I guess I do not like the term cougar at all. And I'm like, these little boys, I'm like, you guys, no, go away. Like, my daughter is your age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's, yeah. And you say, you know, how many different ways can you say, you know, I'm not interested, please stop, or whatever. And yet they don't get it.
Yeah.
Till the next one, you know, whatever.
Well, I mean, I feel like, you know, I went and I was looking at pornography, to be honest, and I couldn't find anything that I could connect to. And I feel like it was different the last time I looked, like 5 or 6 years ago. And it's different now.
Yeah.
There's so much, like, I'm looking at the women in the videos, and you can see and hear that they are in pain.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. And and it's so violent. And this is what the next generation is seeing on their freaking phone. They can get, and I'm like, their neurology, their first, you know, flashes of sexuality that are coming from inside of them are being met with curiosity. And then they're finding stuff on their phone and seeing stuff, and they're getting programmed, both boys and girls, to think that this is like, it's just, that worries me, because that's their education. There's no education in America for children on sexual, you know, I mean, sex ed, sure, when you're 16 years old, after you've known about it for 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
Just the biological components of it, not the...
Absolutely. There's no emotional intelligence, no understanding of boundaries,
Yeah.
or even an understanding of the feminine anatomy, which is so much more complicated than a man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that 100 years ago, I mean, or maybe a little longer, it was the idea of a female orgasm was almost mythological. So I feel like for me, you know, I had quite a bit of sexual abuse as a child. So I came into this world, my womb, you know, without any of that. Our ancestors, our mothers, you know, were most of them raised in Christian homes where, you know, it was, first of all, sexuality was a sin, and the only place that it was sanctioned was inside of marriage. And then, you know, even the sexual experience was never geared towards pleasure, especially not the woman's, just the man's, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the work that I've been doing, you know, with my womb blood, is releasing all of those storylines from my flesh and blood ancestors, but also in my own.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the blood specifically in that? Because you're saying like before, or would you always put it with the plant? Or do you do something different?
I have my magic cup, which is my chalice, and it's specifically for that. So usually, I'll, you know, depends on the day. Usually the second day is, you know, the best flow. But I keep it, I pour it into that cup. It usually isn't sitting there longer than, you know, 6 hours, but I usually will have it on my altar, and I'm syncing it up. And you know, when I put it on the altar, I kind of like, you know, connect to it and say, hey, all you little tiny universe of cells that are now dying, please, you know, with your last bit of energy, focus on all of the work that I'm doing here. And then, so after I've done that meditative work, then I pour it with intention, you know, into the dirt.
Okay.
And also I have, with certain crystals, I, you know, poured it over my crystals and let them sit for a little while before I then did this. You know, it always goes into the earth eventually.
Okay.
And, you know, I've also done like intentional work where I'll put my finger in the blood, and then I put my fingerprint on the paper. If you look online right now, you're going to see a bunch of people doing what they're calling blood over intent. And I think that there's a lot of truth. They're calling it white magic, which it is, because they don't have a victim. They don't have an unwilling victim that they're slicing open to do their ritual. They're, you know, intentionally puncturing their own skin to do this. But ultimately, the only true, you know, I'll call it gray magic, where you're bringing together the polarity of the dark and the bright, is the blood that we bleed, because there's no puncture wound. It is a natural occurrence. Anything else, you could look at it as violent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a tiny little prick of your finger, it's still puncturing in an unnatural way, as opposed to, whoa, this, it's a sacrament that our bodies have, you know, like, okay, wait a second. Is the universe talking to me at all? Like, wait a second, all the women on the planet, we do this every single month. I mean, I believe that there's a place in the future where, like Kim is saying about the collection and the saving process, I kind of saw like 200 or 300 years into the future where every single woman who's menstruating gets a monthly kit, you know, and we're putting a sterilized diva cup up inside of us, and our body's bleeding the blood. And then as we pull it out, it seals shut. And then we put it into the capsule, you know, they're like a milkman kind of thing, and you keep it in the fridge. And then when you're done bleeding, then boom, you send it off, you know, to the stem cell bank, and it's held there for you, because the stem cells that we're bleeding really have the ability to become any part of the human anatomy that you need. So, you know, and we're proving this right now. I mean, you can grow organs from stem cells. So we really do have in our physical body what humanity needs to at least, increase lifespan by quite a bit. If you can, just build a copy of your own heart instead of waiting for a donor. So it's just
it's amazing. Definitely.
It's amazing to me that like we still, like so many women are just throwing this precious substance in the trash. And I did it for years, threw it away. It's just, it's a disrespect for, what we are. So anyways.
Well, interesting topics today.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's real.
It is real. It is real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. What's the full moon plan for everyone? Anything?
Yeah.
Any ritual plan?
Yeah, I'm going to be just doing a basic paper burning. That's I think I might use that magic paper that you guys talked about last time. I did buy some, the paper that flies into the air.
You said you had some, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that conversation.
It's this wish paper. So you light it and it blows up into the air, and like you put your intentions in it, and it's really cool. So we were talking about it, trying to incorporate it into some sort of thing online that we could do, that we can implement and manifest with the moon and use them.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out how to purchase them, because they come. How many are in the ones you have? They come in like a pack of 5 or 10 or something.
I think so. Let me go look.
I've been wanting to buy them forever, and we were talking about them the other day. It's like, I'm going to go in and get this, and she's like, "Oh, I already have it." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, that's awesome."
They're
Will
really
you send
cool.
the link? Can you send the link to that, Mo?
Sure. Flying wish paper is what it's called.
Of course. Okay.
So actually, that's how this conversation got started, because I was saying that I was going to go to a red tent event tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the first one
That's cool.
It's the first one that I've ever been to.
So let me know how that goes, because that's what talking about, or like doing the research on the feminine energy and everything. That's getting to be, I guess, more popular.
Yeah.
Where the events are and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But collectively, I think we definitely need to keep sharing our message and, empower those that don't even know, just like so much of what our conversation of what we just had, people never think about that. Like I never thought about that. And yet, I guess, I still have my cycle, but I guess I'd have to see how much I bleed, but it doesn't seem like that much, but it might be worth, saving whatever I have and
Yeah.
see if I can work with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I really think, like just, especially having a medium kid, like trying to educate her. She's very opposed to what we've been talking about.
Oh yeah.
I haven't
Mine was
encouraged
too.
that. But, I think the more that we speak it, the more it people are open to it. And I think now is the time for the opening.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my only New Year's resolutions was to say yes to any women's event that I got invited to go to. And that's how I'm going to this red tent event tonight. So every single event that I've gone to, they ask the question, how many people are here for the first time? And 50 to 80% of the audience every single time is raising their hand saying, this is my first event. I think that there is a movement of women understanding that we have to work together, that we've got to create that, the sisterhood. It doesn't have to be red tent sisterhood, but then again, it kind of, it's around the fact that we all have these magical organs. And, how do we use that to bridge the gap?
Well, and so many people are isolated now, and it's easy to be isolated. The way that society is going, it is so easy to stay home. We don't ever have to leave the house anymore.
You're right.
So yes, we can have these kind of conversations, great, but we don't have that touch, that one-on-one feel. So I love what you're doing, and I think we should all implement that. I think we should start having all of these, yes, these talks we're having now, but invite other people to be here physically with us so we can connect all over the U.S. and do it together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I agree too. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Whether we decide to do this, through,
plan, and definitely, I think great ideas, and anytime we can, like the paper, like share links or whatever, because it just makes it so much easier. When we're looking at stuff or doing things.
That's a good thing. That's what the Facebook group's all about. So when you do it tonight, share it, throw it in there.
Okay. It's not going to be tonight. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow night.
Okay.
But whenever's good. But I totally agree with that. Just kind of put it out there, and it's just, I think, sharing more of ourselves, and definitely I'm trying to do that with my page that I have, or my group, or whatever, both, of being, picking a theme or whatever, but being more open and being more, I guess, really the open part, y'all, I don't know if y'all follow, like, that I did that Whole30 food thing. So I actually today, because it was whatever day, like I forgot what I said. Anyway, to be truthful, to share your truth, that I put out there my numbers, like the numbers and things like that, because I said that I, did the Whole30, but a lot of people want to know results, that they're all about results and that kind of thing. And so I actually shared those results today, because I don't like the scale. I think that's a terrible measurement, but people use it, like going to the doctor today. The lady was so excited that I lost 10 pounds from last year, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But it reminded me a couple of years ago, I made a joke out of it on Facebook, but because I had to wait so long in the waiting room, when I stepped on the scale, the lady, the very first thing she said was, sorry about your weight. And because I had been gaining weight, I was like, me too,
Oh, me too.
I know, me too. So, because I just never, like, I really don't like I said, I don't like the scale, because I think, especially as women, we're all proportionally different, Yeah. So I think that's a terrible measurement. But that's what society goes by. So going to the doctor, that's what she said. She was super excited. And so that's where that was kind of, it wasn't because of the doctor thing, but because people want to see results. So what I did was I took my measurements. I weighed myself. I took my measurements before the Whole30, did that elimination diet for 30 days. And then I wanted to see, like, once I incorporate, like, my natural food and rhythm and me back into it, what are my numbers going to be like that? Because that's more of a true test.
In that same time frame?
In the 30 days after that.
Yeah.
So yes, so I did. So it's been 2 months now since I started. So 1 month prior, 1 month of the Whole30, and then 1 month of just me being me, with a few new habits of, maybe not as much candy and that kind of thing, but to see what my results are going to be, or were, or whatever, because that's, long term. So my weight's pretty much the same. And I really have not eaten the candy like I did before, because that's part of the, that was
candy?
what I really was.
What? Anything with sugar.
Yeah. Well, specifically, just junk. Yeah, I mean, yes. So
no, I mean, like, most people are like, I like this, or I like that.
I'm with you. I'm like anything.
Anything?
Anything, yes.
I don't ever buy that. I can't have it in the house.
Oh, I can't either. Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. And so the other day I was like really wanting a piece of candy. So I found these old jawbreakers that I had.
You found something. Woo!
I did. I found something. I threw them away since then because I had a couple and my teeth hurt the next day. So I was like,
Ooh.
damn, okay. Just a reminder, like maybe, yeah, don't do that. Why are you doing that? But I wanted to be able to, so like this was the new me, like going forward, because I don't think I'll be back. And even if I slip back into it a little bit, um, I'm so much more aware of, we all know how bad sugar is for us. It's such a horrible thing, but it tastes so good, so, but just to kind of see how that works and to share that with people. It was, yeah, the Fearless Friday. That's what I was like, that's the tagline. Because I was like, normally I don't like to share things like that. I would share it personally, but not to put it out on Facebook. But, it's reality, if I had gained weight, I'd be putting that out there too, but if you make a conscious change, then, being aware of it, then you can help others do the same. The more you are aware and the more you be conscious living, how we can help others to do that. And just say, especially like with the weight and the scale and all that, make sure that people know that, you don't have to go by society's norms. You go by what makes you feel good. And this is what made me feel good. So this is why I did it. And that's why I shared it. But it's something that just to be more conscious living is the point of the whole conversation, the everything.
I feel like I've paid more attention to how much sugar I've been taking in, just paying attention to, the ketogenic diet, and really understanding, that, I'm definitely not doing the keto diet. I think I need to try just because of like allergies and stuff. Like I'm looking for solutions for, health, but when I don't focus on the eating purposefully, I find myself eating a lot more sugar for sure.
It's
so
handy.
It's so easy.
But to be a gluten-free vegan and then not have
oh my god,
right?
And then have a ton of food allergies too on top of it.
I can only eat so much lettuce. Seriously.
Right. It is different, but here's the thing though. Yeah, be the conscious, and just and here's the other thing too is whatever it is, I bless it, bless it to make sure, that it's, I never speak ill, never ever speak ill for anything that goes in my body or on my body or whatever. But, and that, I mean, I know that it's, the segment in our, my coaching program, the director was talking about being bad, like that.
Right.
And I hate that. Like whenever he was talking about it, I was like, I really try not to think of, I mean, like it has to be extreme to be bad, but they were using examples and asking women these examples of what they consider was bad. And I was just like, oh my gosh, why are we putting the labels on that?
Yeah. Cheetos are bad. Heroin's bad.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Which of this bad stuff do you want to put in your body?
Right. So yeah, like, but being conscious of, the labels and
the psychological impact weighs on us as much as the physical impact. Yeah.
Kim, do you have a physical reaction with gluten?
Not as much as I used to. Going through menopause, it was extreme. It's not as extreme anymore.
Oh, good.
Okay. And it's made it easier to incorporate it a little bit. But back to just being very aware and doing it in moderation. I can handle it a lot now.
That's huge.
I can handle it a lot better now.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge in itself.
Yeah.
But I really think if we teach that too, teach the fact of how much words mean, how much impact. especially that self-talk and just all, and Kim, I've been saying this forever, that early programming, how it can be a challenge to change it, but yet it's so, once you do, then that's when everything starts happening. I mean, it really. And so, if we can teach that, because a lot of people don't even know, they don't even know that they have programming, even though it seems pretty obvious to us.
Yeah.
But they don't know. And so, awareness, and then how can we help them change it? But it's simply, just with education and practice.
Educate, enhance, empower.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So yeah, I just wanted to share that about, like, just thinking, the whole thing of intentional living. I love that. I think that's, and if we can keep sharing that, I think that's where we're going to be.
That's
consistently.
my hashtag lately on everything, that and intentional living and mindfulness.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. I like that hashtag. We'll have to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
That's it.
Decide a day next week for practice.
Okay.
Is there one day better than another for you guys?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy too. I can't do Saturday. And actually, Friday might be iffy. I doubt it. I'm trying to think. What day is the 8th on? Can you see your calendar?
Sunday.
Okay. So, yeah, I could probably do Friday. I could probably do any day during the week. My parents are coming.
So are mine.
I'm thinking, are they? Okay. So on Saturday? Okay, yeah. Oh, on Sunday. Okay.
During the week, maybe like a Thursday or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
After 3 or whatever, I have to.
So that would be the 5th, yes?
Yes, the 5th. All right. Well, let's work on our timing. So 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
there you go.
That would work
Perfect.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So 4 p.m. my time. Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. I'm just putting it in as practice.
Me too.
Okay.
So Google Hangout, ladies, women's group.
Okay, and you're going to send the invite again? We'll try that again?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And so actually, should we try to be early then? Or
yeah,
I guess
I was trying to be early today. I had to install the same thing you did today.
Okay. How did you get past, because I'm still stuck on that screen, like it shows and it's black, and then it says to secure, it's something about the security, and I've said okay, that I'm good with them using my microphone, I'm good with everything, and it's still.
Oh, maybe that's why I had microphone problems. Huh.
I bet
I don't
it
know.
was, yeah. But you figured it out.
I instead of trying to do it on that account, I went over to my personal account.
Oh, that you'd already accessed it on then, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
I gotta go.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, ladies.
All right,
have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.